What's up, guys? Cameron, aka I'm the crazy one here. So I just got out of the hospital a couple hours ago, and I ended up obviously having many messages, missed calls, text, all this shit to catch up on. And I just saw that Reaper Death sent me close to 10 questions. So I already made my original Q and A video, but this will be a Q and A just shouting out and answering all of Reaper Death's questions he just sent to me recently on Instagram. So I'm just gonna go through them all just like I did before for the other ones and just give an answer to them. So first question that Dominic asked me was, "Do you have any favorite DC heroes and villains? More than one you can choose." Um, I know this is kind of basic, but I would probably just say probably my favorite heroes from DC would probably be like the average ones, probably like Batman, Superman, um, and probably like the Flash or something, stuff like that too. Villains, I would probably say like Darkseid is pretty crazy. Um, can't go wrong with the Joker. Bane is pretty cool. Um, I ended up even kind of starting to love the Riddler more after watching. Even though I wasn't a huge fan of the movie, but they made the Riddler pretty badass, and Robert Pattinson's Joker, Robert Pattinson's Batman movie. So yeah, two. I already answered this in the comments of it when he asked this question, but I'll answer it now in an actual video. Will you ever make lyrical videos in the future for your channel? If I can ever actually learn how to do it, yes. But the more probably realistic answer is no. Dom, I've watched your video on how to do it about 2 or 3 times, 2.5 times probably, and I've tried like sitting there and just like focusing on everything, but it's almost an hour long video and there's way too many fucking steps to follow. So I might never be able to do it unless I can somehow just figure it out on my own. I would love to, but don't know if I could ever do it. All right, three. What's your favorite action film? That's like that's a kind of a hard question to answer because there's a lot of action films I like. I love like all of the Spider-Man movies, especially like No Way Home and like the original Spider-Man 2 and stuff like that. A lot of those movies are great. And then, I love like zombie type movies, like even though it's kind of like a joke like movie and stuff, I love Zombieland. Second movie, Zombieland kind of sucked. Wasn't terrible, but I won't ever go back and watch that shit. The first one's good. Just there's a lot of good action movies out there that are great, but probably the main ones are like action or superhero movies like Spider Man, Iron Man, the Avengers movies, stuff like that. What's your favorite Call of Duty Zombies Easter egg soundtrack or soundtracks? More than one you can choose. Um, Obviously, probably one of everyone's favorite. You can't go wrong with 115. That song's great. I love all of the songs that Avenged Sevenfold did for Zombies too, like Mad Hatter. It's not for zombies, but for COD in general and stuff. I do like Carry On. That was great. They had Nightmare by Avenged Sevenfold as one of the Easter egg songs on Moon when you did the Easter egg. That was cool. And then probably my favorite that they did on Call of the Dead was Not Ready to Die. And just even a lot of the other songs and stuff by Elena Siegman, or however you say her name and stuff, is good. There's not too many of the songs that she made or Kevin Sherwood made that were bad. What's your favorite dream car to own? I have a bunch of them, man. I wouldn't mind having, like an old school like GTO. It doesn't really matter the year. If it was, like 60s, 70s GTO or something, that'd be cool. Wouldn't mind having a newer, somewhat modern Camaro. Always loved the look of those. I wouldn't mind like a modern Challenger. But probably like my main dream car if I really had the money right now. And it would just be one of those things I'd probably just drive around in the summer and stuff. Because I wouldn't want to drive something like that in the winter. Would be the newer Corvettes they have. Those cars are they're super fucking badass. All right, number six. What's your favorite hard rock bands? More than one you can choose. Oh God, probably there's a bunch, man. There's way too many, you know. For just probably like hard rock bands and not really like just metal in general, it would be like Breaking Benjamin, 3 Days Grace, Linkin Park, Hollywood Undead, Korn, stuff like that. And then metal bands, it'd be like Motionless in White, Slipknot, Periphery, Ice Nine Kills, Older Ask Alexandria, shit like that. All right, seven. When I was reading through all these before I made this video, this was probably one of my favorite questions that he put on there. Is there any vocal covers that you would love to do or try, but you can't do it because you can't perform it physically or whatever? There's a lot of those. I've done it before, but I did never sung the chorus or anything. It would probably be the same way now. One of the main ones is "Given Up" by Linkin Park because I haven't tried it for a while, but I could have easily before do the 17-second scream, but I just can't do the singing notes that Chester does, like the "I've given up." I can't hit those notes, so I've never covered that, and I haven't covered that song in many years because of that. And even when I did, I just did the verses and didn't do like the choruses, and I kind of just did the scream parts, and that was it. But there's a bunch of other bands and stuff too. Like I covered Blood Eagle, and I did okay on it by Periphery. There's a bunch of other Periphery songs I'd love to cover, but he's another one of those guys that has a pretty high voice, and a lot of those songs I couldn't hit notes. I would love to cover some Pierce the Veil or Sleeping with Sirens, but they have really high emo boy voices. Like sometimes like they sound like girls, like Helen and Vic of Pierce the Veil do and stuff. Helen's in Sleeping with Sirens, but hopefully you guys know what I meant. But they both have really high voices. It's really the only song that I could possibly sing, and even I wouldn't be able to do Kellen's parts. I would have to just not sing during that part. Would be maybe King for a Day with both of them. But there's a lot of, bands or songs or something that I would love to cover that I just can't do because I can't physically sing it. So, that was probably my favorite question on here. All right, would you ever look into doing any future rock artists just for the fun of it or by request? Yeah, possibly. I know there's a bunch of stuff that you listen to that you'd love for me to cover, and it's just one of those things. If one, I can do it and it's not out of my vocal range, and two, if I'm into the band. Because there's a lot of bands that you've showed me or on our playlist that I've listened to that is really good, and I'm just being 100% honest with you, Dom. Not even saying this in a rude way, just being honest. There's a lot of stuff that you've put on our playlist that I don't like. But I bet it's the same way for you too. I bet there's probably some like super heavy shit or just like some of the rap or whatever and stuff that I've added on the playlist that you probably can't get into either. So it's not like me like saying, hey, wow, the music you listen to sucks. It's just not everything people are going to show me I'm going to enjoy. But all right, last question. If you had the money now, what would you want your dream house to be? That's all I got. Oh well. Me and my dad are almost like the same people, except he's just a shit ton older than me and has much of a better work ethic than I do. But if I could choose where to live, what kind of house I'd want to build and shit, me and my dad both would want to move out to like Tennessee, Indiana, like one of the Carolinas, something like that. Somewhat in the mountains, not like completely in the middle of nowhere, but still like kind of in the forest, but maybe like at most half an hour away or less from civilization, so we can easily drive somewhere and get gas when we need to and get groceries and shit. Well, we'd want to live somewhere where we don't really have to deal with like shitty winters like we do here and all of that stuff. So we would live in one of those places, but we would build not like a complete mansion, but a big enough, you know, nice, beautiful log cabin that we could live in. And if I had the money and could afford it, that's what I would do. I would build, a log cabin somewhere in the forest, buy one or two UTVs or ATVs or something like that to drive around in the forest and stuff to have fun that way. And, if I did live somewhere where at least we got maybe some snow, not as bad as here, but we had snow here and there, maybe even get, like a snowmobile or two or something like that. Maybe live somewhere or close enough where we have a lake or something like that too, and have a jet ski and go jet skiing every once in a while. Because I went jet skiing myself for the first time with my dad about a couple years ago, and I think jet skis are one of the coolest things ever. They're so fucking badass. Those UTVs too are really cool. Me and my dad rode one of those like a year or so ago out in Black River Falls area, like about an hour or so away from me. We drove on all these trails and stuff, and god damn, those things are so fun. Like when I was younger, we had ATVs, we had four wheelers and stuff, and I had a lot of fun on those. But UTVs, they're like a mix of like an actual kind of like a mix of like a golf cart and a four wheeler, like a big four wheeler, and they're super nice. You can even get super nice ones that have radios and certain stuff in them. And even if I didn't get one with a radio, if I had the money, I would fucking pay someone to hook up a radio in it and put some speakers and stuff in it and just drive around in the forest and stuff during the day or whatever, especially if I didn't live super close by people, and I would just ride around in the forest or in the woods, blast fucking music in that UTV or whatever I would be driving and just have fun. So, but all right, well that's my second Q&A, and it'll probably be the last one. If anyone else does want to send me more questions, if you guys think of anything, feel free. If not, hey, it's all good. I appreciate all the questions I got, and it's nice to see these questions for me to answer when I got out of the hospital. So it gives me something to do.